Well, hello. Welcome to a special edition of the Immigrants Magazine Weekly. It's Oscar season, and I'm honored to be chatting with some of the world's most outstanding filmmakers and actors. Today, I will be talking with director TOMER SHUSHAN about his Academy Award nominee live action short film, White Eye. A man finds his stolen bike locked up at another man's workplace. The alleged thief is an Eritrean immigrant at risk of deportation, who says he bought the bike in good faith. Seeing what would happen to him, the man wrestles with what to do. What would you do if you found yourself in such a circumstance? In today's world, here in our own immigrant enclave in the United States, we are faced with this kind of dilemma on a daily basis. So before we answer this question, let's do the honors and subscribe if we haven't subscribed yet by hitting the subscribe button here below. Also, like us so that YouTube will share our videos. And don't forget to ring the notification bell so that you will be notified when this amazing kind of content comes along every week as we do here on TIMTV. Of course, don't forget to follow me on Twitter and Instagram at Anchang and like us on Facebook at The Immigrant Magazine. Thank you for joining me today, and let's bring on Director TOMER SHUSHAN. So, Director TOMER, welcome to I Am Weekly, where we're talking about things that affect immigrant communities in particular, and your film particularly deals with that. Before we get into the film, let me set it up a little bit. So tell me where you're from.
First of all, thank you for having me. I'm Tomer, the director of the short film White Eye, and I'm from Tel Aviv, Israel.
Yes, that's why this story caught my attention so much. First of all, tell me, why did you do this film? It's about African immigrants in Israel, right? And the experiences. Why did you make this film?
I made this film because it's based on a real story that happened to me. And I can tell you that this story, it's one of the moments in my life that really changed me as a person and really affected me as a human being.
How did you do that?
Sorry?
How did it affect you?
First of all, this story, as I said, happened to me, and in real life, in the real story, I could manage to save it and convince the police to go away without doing the other guy anything. So they just went, and I solved it with him eventually. But I remember that I saw how much fear I caused this person. I remember how fear he had in his eyes, and to know that I made it, I made this guy feel like that, feel that he's about to lose his life almost. It was something that, I couldn't sleep at night, even though I knew he's fine, and just to see what I made this guy feel, because I was blind. I was totally blind. I was totally not myself. I mean, all my values went to the trash in one moment. Um, and that's what happened when you do things. Your actions come from when you not think, when you're not yourself, when you're like let your instinct, wrong instinct, control you, and the anger control you. And I mean, that's why I made this film, to show that no one can act like that. No one have the right to do it. I mean, we're all human beings, we're all the same, and there is no reason that anyone will feel less.
Right. So tell me a little bit about the African immigrant experience in Israel. Is it the way that we experience xenophobia or racism in the United States, do you think?
First of all, I can tell you that the government is very I mean, the government making the people, I think, be afraid of immigrants, or like don't really accept them to the society. I mean, it's all come from above. It's all come from the people that we're choosing to lead us, and that's the problem, I think, because in Israel, for example, the Minister of Culture and Sports said back then that immigrants are like the cancer in the society, and to hear it in the news, it's something that, like, I mean, it's unbelievable, and that caused all the hate, and that caused all the racism. I think that's the start. That's the beginning. It's come from there. I mean, um, and that's something that I think it's the main issue. I mean, people um, that don't live next to immigrants and like see it all from the side, of course they will hate it. They will hate them, and people, I mean, in my area, um, we communicate, we live with them, we work with them, and we develop friendships and relationships with them, you know. And I can tell you that most of the immigrants that I met and heard their story, it's so inspiring. It's so inspiring to see the level of brave and courage that these people have, and how they sacrifice all their life to their families. And it's something very inspiring that no one else can understand. No one else have. I mean, in this position, I mean, everyone in Israel, like, super privileged, and I mean, not everyone, but most of the people are very privileged, and yeah.
So let me ask you, Director Tomer, I mean, the way you tell the story in the film, these people are working, they're contributing to the community. And so for me to hear that they're perceived as a cancer to the society, is it based on race? Are other white, because I want to know, I don't think that Israel only has Black immigrants. I want to think that there are immigrants from all over the world, like people go everywhere. So is it that they're targeting the Black immigrants, or is it the cancer? Is it every immigrant?
I think, okay, in Israel, I think that most of the immigrants are coming from Africa.
Okay.
I mean, I'm quite sure that maybe 80% come from Africa.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that, of course, if the government not supporting them and can't accept them right to the country and like help them and maybe develop the country and like think about a program that can develop two sides, it would be different. But now it's not. They just let them in, and sometimes they don't even like tell them what to do, or like give them the permit to work. So there are few people that just stay on the street, and you know, if you don't have money, the crime is coming. Like it's developed crime sometime, and yeah, of course there is few people that making wrong decision, and like and there is crime a bit in this area, but it's not their fault. I mean, it's the government fault that they don't help them. I mean, they're new in the country, they don't know the language, they don't know anything, they just escaped and survived, and that's the main issue. I mean, of course there is crime in this society, like every society, but because they are because they are coming from another country, so people allow themselves more to hate them, or like to tell that, to say that everyone is like that, everyone is criminals, everyone are like yeah, scary. So yeah.
So you titled your film White Eye. In my brain, I'm thinking white privilege. Is it a story about white privilege then? White Eye, why the title White Eye? I'm saying white privilege.
Yeah, I mean, there are a few reasons, but mostly it's because, first of all, this story happening from a white person eyes. I mean,
Of course.
that's the story. That's what leads to everything. That white person eyes can't see
Mm.
another, like can't see others, and sometimes, and also like wide eyes like physically symbolize to me blindness, which is like the main character that can't see that in front of him there is a person, there is a human being that maybe he can be in a danger if you call the police, or like, you know. But yeah, so
That makes sense. That makes sense. I'm sure you've been following, given that, I mean, you're here in the United States now for the Oscars, but you know what's going on in the United States as far as racism and xenophobia. They think it's like the two almost go hand in hand, but in the case of United States, we have um, African Americans or Black people that came here through the slave route, and then you have now African immigrants, Caribbean immigrants, a lot of Black immigrants who now merge with African Americans. And when I walk on the street, nobody cares if I'm immigrant. All they see is a Black person. So I'm just curious to know, what do you think it is that makes people react so viscerally against someone based on their race? Because your story, like you said, it's like you're wrestling with humanity, with being a human being and seeing another person as a person. What, maybe in your research, did you find out what is it that triggers this?
wow, I don't really know. I mean, it's unbelievable. It's like, first of all, it's stupidity, it's ignorance, you know. That's where I think it's the main issue. But also, I mean, I really don't know. I think um I think it's like something that it's already like in the blood, you know. I mean, it's already in your genes to maybe hate or scare from different. And I mean, we also have the same question in Israel about Jewish people, because there is lots of hate also for Jewish people. And you know, I mean, we just mentioned a few days ago the Holocaust Day. I mean, so yeah, I mean, I don't really know where it comes from, but it's something horrible. And I think that for me, as a young filmmaker, I really want to deal with this topic, because I saw that I told this story as a personal story, and I didn't know it's gonna be something very international. I talked about Israeli reality, and I saw that it got accepted, and I can discuss this topic everywhere, and all the countries, like it's happened everywhere. So I guess that after knowing that, I felt that and I'm still feeling that I really want to continue and deal this topic, because I saw how we can bring it to the table and how it make people talk about this. And it's so important. I think that's the things that we should do, we should all do to make people understand. I mean, and I mean, the white eye, I remember a few times that I screened it, and in the Q&A, people told me that it really like affected them and affect their thoughts. And sometimes we need to open people's eyes, and the way to do it, I think, it's with films and with art, and yeah.
That's amazing, because we are given opportunity. You have a platform, you use it to change society. I think that maybe, like you said, the minister said the immigrants are the cancer. Racism is the cancer. Prejudice is the cancer. Xenophobia is the cancer. Because even here in the US, like you said, you just celebrated, you talked about the honoring Holocaust Day. Even the Jews here also face that kind of, prejudice. So it's so strange how people that have been also oppressed turn around and don't do better. You know,
Yeah.
it's so difficult for me to wrap my brain around it. I'm telling you, the film touched me to my core, because when I saw the reaction, regardless of race, here we even have the Latino immigrants who come from the borders here in Los Angeles, California. It's the
Mhm.
same thing. So it's really something to behold. I'm just curious to know, what do you think we as a society can do? Because you said it's in the genes. I don't want to accept that it's in the genes because it means it's going to go from generation to generation. We need
We
to
need to
stop
stop
it.
it.
What can we do? You know?
We need to raise our kids and contribute to the education, and just to clean it out of our bodies, because I raised with lots of traumas, lots of traumas of what Jewish people have been through, and about to be scared about to go to some places, and maybe these traumas causing separation and causing sometimes fear from another person, from different people, and that's something that I mean, your parents try to and your surrounding like try to protect you, but sometimes it can cause you think that you are one kind and there is few kinds, and like there is separation between people. So if we will start giving less trauma to our kids and like raise them with more love and accepting to the other, with no fear, maybe things gonna be different. I mean, that's my plan. That's what I plan to do.
Yeah. Last year there was a racial reckoning here. It started. I mean, it's always been the civil rights movement, have always been, uh, working on racial equality here in the United States. And so it's come to a point where, the Black Lives Matter movement, as you know, and so many, and everybody, sometimes the government is not doing it. The people have to do better. And I think you're doing just that. You're doing just that. And I'm so proud of you. You made it to the Oscars. What are you going to use this opportunity to do moving forward when you go back home?
You mean the opportunity to be?
Nomination. Now you're on an international platform, being at the Oscars.
Yeah.
The film.
So I really plan to, as I told you, to continue and develop this topic to my next project. And even though the story won't be about something that it's like like racism, like maybe it's not going to be the main topic, but for sure in everything that I will do, I will bring the table the confrontation between classes and the clash, and what it makes, and how horrible is not to accept each other, and it can only cause bad things, and what happened when love and compassion win.
Absolutely. Absolutely. When love and compassion win, that is such a human thing to say. Uh, yeah, yeah. I'm really impressed that you had an experience and you decided to channel it into something positive for everybody. You're a teacher. You're a teacher, and yes, thank you so much. So, what does this nomination mean for you personally, on a personal note?
On a personal level, I mean, 1 year ago, if you would tell me that I would go to the Oscar, I would like,
What?
what? And yeah, now it happened, and it's like life. That's life. I mean, everything is so surprising sometimes, and you can't be prepared to anything. And it's like my first actual film after film school. So
Wow.
who thought? Like, I'm from Israel. I never I was always dreaming about like doing things in LA or like in the US, or like and ever since, maybe like every person, ever since I'm a kid, I'm practicing in front of the mirror to the moment that I will,
God, huh?
now
I coming to the US. Is this your first time visiting the US?
I mean, I've been here in 2014, but in New York, and this is my first time in LA.
Oh, welcome, welcome, welcome to the land of dreams. Your dreams are coming true. That's amazing. Well, let me tell you what, it's a short film, but
Yes.
it's so impactful. It's more impactful than some of the long films, it's so impactful and it's resonating. How can our audiences see the film?
I mean, I think that right now, I mean, until the ceremony, it's a bit problem to open the link, but I'm sure that after, if people will follow our Instagram page or Facebook, we have lots of online screening, and maybe we will open it really soon to everyone. So So yeah, I mean, in 2 weeks, it's going to be much easier to watch the film.
That's so amazing. Thank you so much for joining me.
Thank you very much. It was a pleasure.
It's been a delight. I'm just happy to see that we're not waiting for the government. Everybody is using their opportunity. Use your platform, use your voice to stand up for someone.
Yeah.
That's the message. Stand up for someone and put yourself in someone else's shoes, and don't see the world only through white eyes. Try to see the world through.
Exactly.
Yeah. See the world through eyes, just eyes, human eyes, right?
That's true. That's true. That's what I'm trying to say.
Yeah, stop seeing through white eyes or brown eyes or black eyes. Just see the world for what it is. See the human being in front of you. And good luck with everything. And I can't wait to see you make your speech, start rehearsing. Who knows? The best, right?
Yeah.
Yes, together we'll make a better world. So thank you so much.
Sure. Thank you so much. It was a pleasure.
My pleasure.
We've come to the end of our show. I hope you enjoyed it. And if so, please share your opinions with me in the comment section or send me an email at publisher@immigrantmagazine.com. I hope that you subscribe and invite others to subscribe to this new and revolutionary channel, TIMTV, Voice of Immigrants in America. Be sure to follow me on Twitter and Instagram at Anchang and like us on Facebook, The Immigrant Magazine. See you next time on Immigrant Magazine Weekly.